Hello vinyl community, it's Bill here again to do another video. I hope you're all well. And I recently did the video on the 10 albums I listened to most, which seems to have really blown up as a very important video to do. Everybody wants to see your go-to albums. But I'm going to jump on another thread, and I think I've seen one from Richard McCook and maybe some from others that are 5 artists or bands that I don't have in my collection. I'm going to up the ante and do 10, I think. So this is very odd because you don't really have albums to show, although I will show a few because sometimes I get away with having sort of one track by a band. For example, I thought I didn't have Rush, but The Spirit of Radio by Rush is on this compilation album. And equally, I maybe don't have that many reggae or ska artists, but this compilation ticks the boxes for the pioneers, the Maytals, and the Ethiopians. Not sure if the Ethiopians are a band that people would expect you to have. And equally, I thought I didn't have any Carpenters, but The Look of Love has They Long to Be Close to You by the Carpenters. And yeah, there's also some Dionne Warwick and the Stylistics and Neil Diamond on this. So they're probably my only tracks from those artists. But I'm also going to show this. This is a book, All-Time Top 1000 Albums. So I guess since I'm Bill Vinyl Lists, I like lists, and I like to check off that, I have something by that artist. But start with 5, and then I'm going to move on to another 5. But this first 5, you might think, come on, Bill, you should have something by them. So first of all, I'm going to go with a young lady by the name of Kate Bush. And this all-time top 1000 albums has not only the Kickin' side, but also Hounds of Love. And I have neither of these albums and no Kate Bush at all. My brother used to have a Kate Bush album, which was not neither of those. Then I move on to another band, this one at the bottom here, Metallica. So in this book of 1000, they have Metallica's Metallica. They also have Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets. I think Discogs' Masters of Puppets, or the self-titled Metallica album, is quite up there on the, owned by a lot of people. So that's Metallica. And then moving on to The Cure. This, I know The Cure have different phases, but this one is Pornography. Don't have that. I don't have anything that features Robert Smith at all. And then Bjork. Don't have anything by her. Our friend James Griffith had a while when he was asking people to nominate artists that you wanted to find out a bit more about. And I said, oh, can you tell us a bit more about Bjork? And I think, I'm not quoting him directly, but it was words to the effect, no, can't stand her, you won't hear anything about Bjork from me. So maybe I'm not alone in not appreciating Bjork. And then the last one that features in this book is Kiss. And Kiss is in this book because of a great live album called Alive. But yeah, I know all about Gene Simmons and the makeup, etc. And they did a great tribute to one of my favourite songs. Well, it was a version of cover of God Gave Rock and Roll to You. So yeah, don't have any Kiss. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to get Kiss. Then this one will maybe really surprise you. Don't have any Radiohead. Don't have any Stooges, although my wife had Funhouse before we met, but then sold a lot of her albums. She's still regretting that. So I think that's, what is that, 7? Kate Bush, Kiss, Metallica, The Cure, Bjork, that's 5. Radiohead and the Stooges makes 7. And then maybe this isn't a surprise, but I don't have any of Frank Zappa's albums. I have borrowed records from the library. We're only in it for the money. Hot Rats, Weasels Rip My Flesh. But yeah, never got into Frank. So sorry, it's a from me. And then this next one, number 9 on my list, this guy sold a shed load of albums, very, very popular. Yeah, some of the singles, yeah, it's okay, but I've never felt the need to go out and buy an album, and that's Ed Sheeran. So sorry, Ed. I quite liked Ed in the film about the Beatles being wiped from people's memory. Was it Yesterday? Yeah, a great film, great plot. Loved it. Some good renditions of Beatles tunes, and Ed Sheeran was featured on that. Yeah, don't get him at all. And the next one, I was also going to say, I don't see much Ed Sheeran shown on the vinyl community. Maybe I'm not subscribing to the right channels, but no, I won't be buying any of his albums anytime soon. And then last but not least, and when I was recently in Nashville, she was there, and she's got a huge fan base, including my daughter and my niece, who are, I think, going somewhere in Europe to see her concert next year, and that is Taylor Swift. So, yeah, I've watched a documentary, don't know if it was Netflix or Disney, some interesting stuff, but no, I'm not excited enough to go out and buy any Taylor Swift soon. Sorry. But yeah, that's it. So I don't know how shocking some of these revelations of the missing artists or bands in my collection. I know I've got a very modest collection, but I usually cover a lot of the bases by best-ofs or compilations, such as hip-hop and bluegrass and country, etc. But yeah, these are omissions from my collection, and put a comment, you know where, if you are really shocked. Because I love the Gorillaz and Blur, etc., but Radiohead, I tried OK Computer, maybe liked one or two tracks, but yeah. But as this vinyl community shows, we've all got our own different tastes. We've got our own go-to artists. We've got our own favourites, and yeah, it's nice to have a bit of variety, and it wouldn't do if we all had the same taste. Bye just now. I will come back with that musical statues video, I promise. Bye just now.